Ciao, homie. So the Giants Live 2021 Britain's Strongest Man loading race has come to an end, and we want to take a look at what the results are, and I have them here for you, hot off the presses. I will remind you one more time, you really should go watch this show. It's only $4.99. It's on Giants Live Facebook page. Extremely well worth the purchase, and I'll put the link in the description below. Being said, let's have a look at the results for the loading race. So, loading medley consisted of an anchor to start off with, then a barrel, then a sack, and then a tire. Each of them range between 120 and 140 kilograms. The anchor goes on the floor, everything else goes in the bin. So that's how it was arranged. Mark Felix comes away with 1 point on the loading medley. He went fourth versus Graham Hicks. Took him 45.58 seconds. 2 points went to Pa O'Dwyer, who did it in 45.16 seconds. He was in the third pairing versus Luke Stoltman. He actually was getting ahead of himself a bit on the anchor and tripped over it, so thank God it didn't look like he injured himself at all. Maybe got ahead of himself a little bit, but finished off strong. 3 points go to Andy Black, who did it in 43.75 seconds. He went second in the order versus Shane Flowers. He was very good, but Shane was just so fast. Neil Pickup said to Andy Black, "You're very fast for such a big guy," and Andy was like, well, for being south of 200 kilograms, I wasn't really that fast. So he was a little humble here in this interview. 4 points go to Graham Hicks, who does it in 40.95 seconds, so he went fourth in the order versus Mark Felix. I felt like he was a rocket ship on the anchor portion. He had great transitions. He had faster runbacks than Mark Felix. He had a slight wobble turning around after he picked up the tire, but like for half a second, not very much at all. And he ran that tire like he was planning to go through a wall, like he was, you know, in a football game trying to go through a whole defensive line. It was quite a head of steam he had going on there. In his interview, Kaz actually mentioned, well, you're shorter and heavy, and which I didn't think was, you know, he had to go there. And Hicks said, well, I actually felt like I was fast. It's just that I lost a little bit of time on my picks. My picks could be faster, and I'll work on that going forward, so fair enough. 5 points went to Paul Smith, who did the course in 40.16 seconds. He went first versus Desmond Gahan. Paul's a local, so great support from the crowd there. He said he had a little slip, and Desmond got out in front, and he just couldn't catch him after that. 6 points go to Adam Bishop, who is now for a sub-40-second competitor, 39.79 seconds for him. He went fifth in the order versus Tom Stoltman, who we'll see a little later on the list. A very good time, but just seemed mortal compared to Tom on this race. 7 points goes to Desmond Gahan. So Desmond jumping up to the big time, so to speak, for the first time and does incredibly well in this event. 7 points, 39.09 seconds for him versus Paul Smith. As we mentioned earlier, very fast, no bobbles. He was first in the order and set a great time for others to try to beat. He had said he had some Scandinavian blood in him and knew this would be a good event, and he proved that. 8 points go to Shane Flowers, who completes the course in 37.52 seconds. He went second versus Andy Black. He was very fast all the way through. He had to stop himself from actually overrunning the sandbag because he was going so fast on the pick before he picked the sandbag up. He said this event is not as skillful as some of the others. It's more kind of brute force and brute manhandling, which he's good at, so he thought he would do well here, and of course he did. 9 points go to Luke Stoltman, who completes the course in 36.25 seconds, going third versus Pa O'Dwyer. Amazingly, he was faster than Shane. Shane looked like he put up a time that I didn't think anyone would beat, and Luke Stoltman's time was better than his, so he was great on every implement, every transition. The sandbag, he didn't even put it in the bin, he threw it through the air into the bin, so incredible strength there, and 9 points for Luke, and that means that his brother Tom Stoltman wins the event, as many expected, as I had expected, as you can see in my predictions. 35.01 seconds for Tom Stoltman, and as I said here, wow, nothing looked heavy for him. He picked up that anchor like it wasn't there, and walks away with 10 points. So that's how the loading race shook out at Britain's Strongest Man, Giants Live 2021. Once I have my video ready for the Castle Stones, the last event, you can check that out by clicking here.